Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
We all remember that one professor, the one everyone on campus had to take no matter what subject they taught because how much fun their class was. What if we told you there was a streaming service that had all those professors? One Day University has every must-have professor from the best colleges all across the country. One Day University, the most fun talks from the most fun professors. Available live and on demand. No homework, just the most fun you'll have while learning. Get a special offer at ondayu.com/Odyssey.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard that tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. We always thank people for, using their cell phones to capture all of the just outrageous video and audio that we get to play on this show.
Yes.
I also want to thank basically all these doorbell cameras like Ring and all that, because they're also providing us with great entertainment.
Ring, I get so excited whenever I get a notification that there's motion at my door. I'm like, oh, what's it going to be? And then it's like a garbage truck went by. I'm like, oh, that's not nearly as cool.
Sorry, buddy.
I got to tweak that sensitivity on my damn Ring cam.
You should be lucky to have like these DoorDash type experiences, because in August, this was in New York, where an angry DoorDash driver confronted a customer because she believes the customer wasn't tipping her enough for the distance that she had driven to drop off the food.
Awkward.
Yeah, the driver claims she'd driven 40 minutes, though the distance between the restaurant and the home appears to be between 5 and 7 miles. So unless she was in massive traffic, I don't know how that's 40 minutes.
Yeah, was she walking there?
And as the video begins, the homeowner tells the driver through the intercom to leave the food on the doorstep. That's contactless delivery. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's not unusual. But the DoorDash driver insists on speaking to this guy in person, saying that his $8 tip was just not enough.
You can leave it, thank you.
I need to speak to you. I don't think you realize where the food you ordered is coming from. I don't think you realize the distance, because then you would never have given what you gave. You can come and meet face to face. I drove 40 minutes from the restaurant that you ordered from. Do you realize you ordered from Colmac and you're in Smithtown?
That's a 15-20-minute drive.
It's not. You need to try to drive it. I just drove it. It's 40 minutes. It's 12 and a half miles.
And we're seeing it's only between 5 and 7 miles, so don't exactly know which way she went.
Yeah, like on the story it says Google Maps says that from Colmac to Smithtown is a 12-minute drive.
Yeah. So what did she do? Take the scenic route? What happened with her?
Or got lost? I don't know.
Oh, well, if it was Vicky on DoorDash, yeah, that would happen. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like an $8 tip's a pretty good tip for a delivery.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, $8 tip, because you have to tip the restaurant. Do you tip the restaurant too? When you do, or do you not? When you do takeout, do you tip a restaurant?
See, I don't use DoorDash, so I have no idea how that works. Because say we order something from Jimmy John's, and of course they're freaky fast, so they deserve that good tip. But I'll leave like a $7, $8 tip on whatever we order, but it's just going to the driver. And they have a delivery charge, but then I give a tip for the delivery driver as well. And they always make it a point. It's so cool. Like they're like, oh, thanks for that. Like they're genuinely surprised and happy by the tip. So that's why I'm like, this is weird that an $8 tip is being frowned upon. But again, I don't know how all the stuff works between DoorDash.
I mean, a $40 meal will get you an $8 tip. I mean, that's 20%.
Right, but I'm not tipping the server.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
What I mean is that $8. So I mean, it seems like for a driver, if even if he had like a $50 to $60 meal, I don't know how much the food was worth, but you're right. That does seem reasonable. $8.
Yeah, and I'm sure that there's don't they get? I don't know. Again, I don't know how DoorDash works, but don't they get like a certain amount anyway when they with the purchase?
Well, I would imagine that. Yeah,
besides just the tip,
you get paid for driving around. Sure.
Right.
So I don't know how much, but you get something. So the confrontation continues, and the driver tells the man that he needs to adjust his tip to account for her driving time. And I don't think he was willing to do that. So what does she do? She says, all right, well, she ends up taking the food back. She doesn't leave the food there.
So I think you need to adjust your tip to make it right.
How much is the tip?
You gave an $8 tip.
What the hell are you looking for? I gave an $8.
Okay, I'm gonna bring the food back. I'm gonna bring the food back. Okay.
Is she kidding?
$8? That's a lot.
40 minutes it took her to get her?
See, at that point,
she took the food back.
I want my food. I'm
Wow.
like, look, at this point, what do you want? You want another $5? I want my food.
Oh, I'm not. No, I'm not backing down at that point.
Oh, you're not backing down?
No.
You're letting the food be taken away?
Well, I mean, I'm not happy about that either, but, that just means I got to get off my own lazy ass and go somewhere and get us some food.
Yeah, see, that's right. At that point, it's like, I'll just take the food. But then, are you wanting to try? I mean, she's already pissed at you. I'm afraid that food's tainted.
Well, I mean, you were able to watch her on the door cam.
Well, I don't know before she got there. Like, she was
So
mad.
she tainted it before she even resolved this whole tipping situation?
Well, I feel like, yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's a good question, but I don't think I trust it. Would you? She's mad at you already.
She sounds like she just needs a new job. I mean, this doesn't seem like this is the right job for her.
That's the problem is that, I mean, at least she didn't, because I've had problems where with a lot of these food services that the food's eaten or some of the items are not there.
I've heard stories about that.
Dude, an $8 tip is huge. I got paid $7 an hour to work at the grocery store, and I had to dress up in a suit and tie and be clean shaven the whole time.
Right. And you didn't get tipped anything.
Nothing.
That's a good point. I mean, like if you're driving 20 minutes, you get $8. I mean, that's $16 an hour, right?
Someone says I'm a DoorDash driver. I get a huge percentage of customers that tip $0. Another person I drive for Uber Eats, she's lucky she got a tip at all after taking 40 minutes to deliver that food.
Yeah, and now that I think about it, if it's a 20-minute drive, it's $24 an hour. I did the math wrong. That's a lot. I mean, that's not bad.
Another person I drive for Uber Eats, you know what my average tip is? $0. That lady's an entitled asshat.
Oh, really? They're not tipping the Uber driver at all? You
I'm
got
not
to tip. You got to
surprised.
tip the Uber driver. You got to do that.
Man, I don't even, at this point, I've lost track of what I'm supposed to tip and what I'm not supposed to tip. I feel like there's a with food, I've got it. Like, okay, we tip with food.
You
But
always tip everybody that touches your food. Whoever actually touches the bag or the container,
I
you
got to
give
tip my
them
wife
something.
for picking at my food now, too.
Do you want her to spit in your food? I'm just saying. I mean,
you
if that's your thing.
Flavoring.
Yeah.
But like, for instance, okay, so where do we draw the line? And I'm
Okay.
not saying this to
All
like
right.
brag on people getting tips and stuff. I'm all for it. I think that's great that we're all helping each other out. Like when I go to a restaurant now, especially on takeout, I make it a point to tip extra.
Look at you.
'Cause I know, well, you know
what?
people
You
are
are a
struggling.
giver.
But okay, so like you have somebody. Let's just say you have somebody, like a delivery person, bring appliances to your house. Do you tip them?
Oh yeah, I try. I think,
do.
Yeah, I do. I feel like you got to tip everybody that comes into your house and does
Everybody.
something.
Okay,
Yeah.
so like paint work at your house. Do you tip them?
They do paint work at my house. It's interesting.
If their business, they're already making money.
Yeah, they don't come in my house. So I think if you
Well,
don't come in,
how do you paint the inside of your house if they're not?
oh,
coming
if
in
it's
your
an
house?
inside job, then I have to think about it because
Well, you got like special like tools that they just kind of.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. See, I had a contractor who did everything, like a whole remodel, and that same company painted my house. So I look at it like, no, I don't think I tip you because your whole business is that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like for some reason somebody's lugging a refrigerator into my home. I feel like I should give them something because that's just that's a lot of work.
No, I agree. But then you get to that point where you're like, I don't even I look at my wife. I'm like, do I tip this person or do I not?
It's very awkward.
And there are times where I tip somebody, and then it gets awkward because they're clearly not being tipped by anyone else. So they're like, no, we don't need that. No, you don't need to tip us. I'm like, well, now I got that. No money's in my hand. Like, this is awkward if I put it back in my pocket. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I
just
hate
take
that.
it. Like, I've already accepted that this money is no longer part of my existence.
I now ask because I recently had a service done at my house, and so I asked. I go, hey, do you guys take tips? And before, I mean, I had
But
the money
more
ready.
often than not, aren't they going to say no because they don't know if they should or shouldn't, or they always say?
Well, if they say no, then I always go, I give them another shot. I go, you sure, dude? Because you worked hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they say no again, it's like, all right, well, I've done my bit. I mean, I've said I wanted to. But you're right. Because I hate that awkward experience where the money's out there and they don't take it. Then you're like, all right, well, then I get mad.
Put it in your hand and shake their hand and like kind of leave it in their hand. Like,
yeah,
hey,
do it that way.
Gotcha.
Hey, got a little something for you. Now give me that information about that suspect I'm looking for. Yeah. So, Steve, I don't know where the line is anymore. I really don't. I don't know if I didn't know you had to tip like garbage men and recyclers and everything. I've recently started doing that, but I didn't even think about doing that early in my life.
Right. It's just like there's so many different services, but how come we don't tip something else? Like, it's like, why aren't we throwing a tip to then, like you say, because this person brought something to you, like a refrigerator. But what if like FedEx has to bring something that's slightly heavier? Are you going to wait by your door so the moment that they show up, you can hand them a tip?
Oh, I do tip the mailman every once a year. I give him a Christmas present. Do you do that?
No.
See, I always leave a little card with some cash in the mailbox.
I know. I keep.
I'm not going to tell you what day I do that, by the way, so you're not, you people who might want to steal it.
People rolling around just picking up Christmas cards.
My
from
problem
BJ.
is I don't know if they're going to see. Like, how do I know if they're going to even see the tip? I guess I could put it.
What,
in
the mail person?
Yeah.
Well, you put to our mail carrier.
Yeah, that's what we did this year.
So you put a Christmas card into our mail carrier, and they know it does because they pick it up and go, "Oh, there's no address," and then they, "Oh, it's to me," and then they open it up and they go, "All right."
See, I'm creating in my head this service. They just grab all the envelopes, they put it in a bin, they bring it to the place, and then the person that's sorting all the envelopes from there is taking the damn tip, not my actual driver.
Oh, well, I can't confirm or deny that happens, but I assume they make sure before it gets to the mail office that it's got a stamp on it. Otherwise, people will just be throwing a bunch of mail in there, and then you got to make more work if all of a sudden you're scamming them and they got to bring it back to your house.
I don't know how this works. I've never worked in the postal service industry, DJ.
That's a good point. Neither have I. I'm making it's an all make them up. So have we figured anything out? I just say this: if someone's bringing food to you, if somebody touches your food,
right,
you need to tip everybody. You just have to tip everybody involved. That still doesn't stop them from eating your food. That's why I feel like if you give people a nice tip, like the drivers that bring it to you, the services, we did that one time. None of our food was touched. We got everything we ordered. But every time we gave, I think, whatever, just a normal tip, or maybe, I don't know, or I wasn't in charge of the tip.
I would lose
something
my
was always
mind
missing.
If they showed up and there was like something was missing. Like,
every time.
Like that I was excited about.
Oh, we were excited about McDonald's hot cookies because when you get the cookies from McDonald's, they're warm. They're they're amazing. It's like, I think it was basically them saying, "We're sorry that our ice cream machine's always broken. Here's some warm cookies." And twice we did it, Steve. Twice we were waiting and the cookies weren't there.
Someone says, "I don't understand tipping either." Like every job could be pretty much a service job. And that's the thing. It's like, I don't like, there are many times where someone comes to our house and I look at my wife, I'm like, I don't know, do we tip this person? And it always leads to that awkward thing of me handing them money. Like, no, we can't take this. I'm like, well, please. Like, this is, I don't like, what do you do? Okay, good. Back in my pocket.
See, we just don't like to be awkward. It's a very awkward moment. I think someone's got a superpower that's able to take money and give it to somebody else, like to bribe them to get information or get a better room. I never think of doing that, like going to the concierge and going, "Hey, buddy, what do you say if you give me great tickets or something?" Here's a 50 or here's a 20. I never know what if it's an insult and they go, "We're giving you nothing. We're kicking you out of the hotel."
Jimmy John's driver just texted and saying, "Meg, you're a hero for tipping anything over $5. Thank you." It's crazy how excited, like every time.
Well, they're freaky fast. You got to give them a good money. You got to give them a good tip. That's what their whole business. I mean, they get you your food before you even know you want it.
I'm just so pumped to get that bootlegger. I'll give you all the money in my pocket.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
someone wants to know if they could get a tip for listening to our show. Yes, we'll give you 20% of what you paid for listening. Check is in the mail.
That's right. 20%. We're going to give you 20% of over what you pay. That's
exactly. It seems fair.
Yeah.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
Everything is better electrified. like the guitar, toothbrushes, or cars. And Hyundai has the widest range of electrified vehicles on the market, including the first ever Tucson and Santa Fe plug-in hybrid EVs. You can use electric when you want it or gas when you need it. It's your journey. Evolve it beyond the pump in the 2022 Tucson or Santa Fe plug-in hybrid EVs. Visit your nearest Hyundai dealer or learn more at HyundaiUSA.com. Call 562-314-4603 for complete details.
Have we figured out how to explain deja vu? How do chameleons do that thing they do? Do you really need to wash your blue jeans? Yeah, you do, but how often? Hey, my name's Mike Simpson. I've got a podcast about curiosities. It's called I've Got Questions. We go through my list of random stuff and yours. Please participate. Send me your questions. I'll find someone to answer them. We've talked about our true crime obsession, how grocery stores are tricking us, super secret flight attendant stuff. I've Got Questions. New episodes Thursdays on Odyssey or wherever you get your podcasts.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. Have you been this pissed at work? I mean, really, this BS'd? I mean, or ticked off? Oh, just tired of the BS from the place you're working is this guy?
Am I this BS'd all the time?
Yeah, you're this BS'd. TO'd, I think. Or PO'd.
PO'd.
There
you go.
PO'd at the BS. That's what you're just, I'm just tired of the BS. One disgruntled former employee of Mercedes-Benz, he used to work at a plant in Spain and he's got a new job. Like, he hasn't been working for Mercedes for 4 years. He's got this other job working for a construction site. But he's still holding a grudge because he reportedly stole a Caterpillar bulldozer from his current employer's site, drove it 13 miles, plowed through the gate at the Mercedes plant, and proceeded to demolish as many as 69 cars. Nice.
Nice.
Okay. Not nice that he destroyed cars, but good number. We always appreciate that number.
Yeah, if you keep in tally, I would stop at 69.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? What's one more really going to do?
This dude caused somewhere between $2.45 and $6.1 million in property damage, including damage to public roads. I guess somehow driving a bulldozer on some of those roads wasn't a good idea.
I can't imagine he was driving safely from the way that the story sounds. And I'm looking at some of these pictures, and holy smokes, man, he really did some damage.
Again, 4 years?
He put one car on top of another car.
Oh, neat.
Okay, that's a pretty awesome looking picture. It's not, I don't condone.
No, of course
I don't
not.
endorse, but I have to say he was creative. Dude, you're still that pissed after 4 years? You got a new job, you're working construction, got to be thinking you're getting better pay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how Spain is with people, but
you got to let it go.
Yeah.
Some believe that part of why he did it because it happened right around New Year's Eve. So maybe a little alcohol was involved. He just said, "F it."
I don't ever believe alcohol's ever involved in these kind of things.
It's like, screw 2020. I'm going to end it on a bang.
I hadn't thought about that. I wonder if 2020 was a part of it. You know what I mean? Just like, and then he's thinking of all the things that went wrong in his life, and maybe he really wanted to be a Mercedes guy.
Maybe that was his favorite job ever.
It could be. Apparently, and we don't know who this guy is. He's unidentified.
Of course.
He reportedly had plans to actually enter the Mercedes factory and perhaps take the dozer to the actual assembly line, as he had already broken a sliding door into the plant before calling an end to his destructive spree. And one security guard, dude, they got serious security guards over there. Because, again, we know what security is. It's Paul Blart this way here in America.
Right, observe and report.
This dude, this security guard in Spain, fired a warning shot, which means he has a weapon that can fire things.
Yeah.
And that's when he was like, all right, I guess I'll stop wrecking your cars. You have a gun.
That's insane, dude. The fact that guy went that crazy.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever been that pissed that I would go to the trouble of, like, just destroying all that merchandise.
No.
I mean,
I might go there and maybe urinate on a couple cars and post it on social media and be like, screw you, Mercedes. But that's about as far as it's going to go.
I've basically maybe intentionally destroyed some, a box of Oreo cookies. That was only so I could have the Oreo cookies because you can't sell damaged product, of course, at the supermarkets.
Your Oreo addiction goes far back.
It really does.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that would have been a way to explain it. But I saw one guy, and I don't think it was intentional. It was just that we had a frozen tomato. We didn't know they were frozen at the time, but I guess they were at the bottom of a cooler, and the tomato was frozen at that part of the cooler.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, who freezes tomatoes?
Yeah, but they kept them refrigerated, but somehow maybe the cooling system was a little too cool at the bottom. So we had tomato fights when we worked overnights at the supermarket, and this one tomato, I ducked, and it destroyed a meat case glass door And then we realized that was a very hard tomato.
It's like that one jerk when you have a snowball fight, and there's always that one idiot that would pack some ice inside of that. Even if it's not intentional, like yours sounded like. But I remember those days where it's like you're having a great time throwing snowballs, and then there's always that one guy that decides to go one step too far, and then he just like bloody nose or black eye.
I never even thought of that, Steve, because if that tomato had hit me, it wouldn't have just been like a regular tomato that exploded. That would have done some damage.
If it broke glass, it's going to hurt you.
You're right. I never even thought it. It's a good thing I was agile. Those were the days. I don't think I could duck today. Not with my back.
How does a tomato fight even start?
How does it start?
Like, do you just pick somebody out in the back room and go, let's hit him with a tomato?
Dude, I can only speak for us. You were so frustrated just doing the slogging job of having to stock shelves. And then when they put you on the overnight, there's no supervision.
Yeah, so all bets are off.
All bets are off. And so basically, you're being idiots and you go, hey, look, these are projectiles. We can throw them. We used to have like super soaker fights before there were super soakers. We used dishwashing liquid containers and we would just try to squirt each other with streams of, Palmolive or Dawn.
Oh, geez.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is, we would do it over the aisle. So you'd be stocking your own aisle, and you'd always have to go, wait a second, am I next to the dishwashing aisle? Because is Mickey the moron going to try to squirt me? And, boy, they would get people all the time. They would, hey, how you doing? They would go, hey, BJ, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just, stocking the damn dog food. Okay, where are you over? By the Alpo? Yeah, why? Next thing you know, here comes a streamer of dishwashing liquid over the arc. I mean, he would stand up on boxes so he could just squirt it over the aisle.
Are you sure it was dishwasher?
I hope it was.
Okay, you know what? We weren't sick like you, all right?
This
was the 70s. We weren't into that then.
No.
Okay.
People in the 70s were doing normal things.
Exactly.
Totally.
We were exactly
Would they make the
normal.
floor super slippery?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah, they did. I mean, we had to do cleanups and everything because that was the thing. I had to clean up my aisle. You're right. Who had to be responsible for making sure of any spillages in your aisle? So that was the double, basically, that was the double jeopardy of that. You either get destroyed or you got to go clean up this crap.
I hate when I worked at a department store. I hated like the grocery store as well. I hated the stocking part, making sure all the things. We had that one guy who'll go around like, hey, the label's not perfectly facing outwards.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Someone's about to buy it. Who cares?
The facer Nazis.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that's what they were called, but yes.
That's what we call those folks, where it's like you got to make sure it's facing forward. And then we had what they had called dummy up the aisle, which is basically you would take the cans from the back and put them up the front to make it look like the whole thing is filled.
Right.
Oh, I hated that part too. I don't miss the supermarket at all. Got a guy in Tijuana. That's Mexico, by the way.
I know that.
Good for you.
I've seen all those 80s stupid like buddy comedies.
All right.
Where they're all going to Tijuana to get Spanish Fly. You remember those movies?
Spanish Fly. I don't really remember how many movies were there where they were all going to Tijuana?
Like at least a couple. Like
right.
Spring Break or Losing It. One of those films where it's like, let's go. Looking back on it, rather pretty disturbing because like we're going to go to Tijuana to get some Spanish Fly so we can drug girls to have sex with us. And everyone thought that was hilarious.
I know, dude. A lot of those movies don't hold up.
No.
I mean, and that's the thing.
Actually, rather awful.
Guys trying to get some action, and then, like, that's what the theme of all those movies. And then what they did, you're right. If we go back and look at it, it's like, yeah, that's called date rape, sir. I don't think we can really do that.
Yeah, I feel like most of those films, they were just always going to Tijuana to get something illegal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So whenever I hear Tijuana, I just think that's the place where people go to get illegal stuff, all because of these bad 80s movies.
Well, we got this situation in Tijuana where there was a guy who's only been identified by his first name, Alberto. Alberto is a construction worker, and he's been cheating on his wife with a woman named Pamela. Pamela was also married to a guy named Jorge.
Okay.
So this was like a double indemnity action here. And what they wanted to do is they wanted to make their affair easier. So what did they do? Alberto put his construction experience to work and dug an underground tunnel between their homes.
Wow.
See, now, I mean, I only know of tunnels for smuggling drugs, but look at Alberto. He's like, look, they're not just for drugs, buddy.
This is an impressive tunnle.
Yeah.
I'm looking at pictures of it. It's not like as if it's like I mean,
yeah,
this guy put some work into it.
That's like right out of Breaking Bad. You know, I mean, some of these tunnels, that's nuts. Just to get some action.
Naughty.
That's it.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's we don't know how long the tunnel was, but like the photo that we have, it's a pretty damn good job. And this tunnel was pretty effective. They were able to like sneak out and nobody knew they were doing anything because this tunnel was under their homes. But eventually, Jorge came home from work one day and caught the two of them in the act, Alberto's tunnel was discovered.
So they weren't banging in the tunnel. The tunnel was just trying to get to it. I would think, if you're going to try and hide this, well, you might as well just make a little bedroom in the tunnel.
This story is a euphemistic nightmare because he spotted the hole to the tunnel, which I think is how they got in trouble in the first place. No. And the hole to the tunnel was usually hidden underneath his couch. And he followed it all the way to Alberto's house. This is great. He lifts up the couch.
So under the couch is the hole to the tunnel.
Yeah, I don't know if that's where I'd put it. I think I would put it in a place where I know for sure my partner's not going to go. Everybody uses the couch, don't they?
That's what if sometimes we eat popcorn and it drops down the crack of the couch and you look for it, like, wait a second, why is there a hole under the rug?
Yep.
I got to imagine there was a rug on top of the hole.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe not.
Hey, it's hard to say.
It's not the 70s. Sorry.
Alberto asked Jorge not to tell his wife. He's like, hey, listen, man.
Wait, you're trying to reason with the guy who you're banging his wife?
Yeah, he's trying. He's taking a shot.
last-ditch effort at that point.
Taking a shot, baby.
I know I've been banging your wife, but come on, bro code.
Yeah.
Do me a solid and don't tell my wife.
Yeah, Jorge did not listen to that.
Shocking.
He woke the wife up to tell her anyway. The two guys got into a fist fight. Well, there you go.
Also shocking.
The cops came, had to separate them.
But imagine getting woken up by that. Like, you're the wife sitting there, and you wake up from your neighbor saying, your husband made a hole to our house to bang my wife.
Yep. It's over the couch. Under the couch. Look for the hole.
Yeah.
Am I still dreaming?
I wonder if the two of them could get together, though, like Jorge and then, the wife.
Oh, like
the
swinging.
other dude. Jorge and Alberto's wife.
I've seen that movie on the Hallmark Channel.
Have you? How's that?
Oh, the Hallmark Channel.
Yeah.
The Hole of Love. It's a good one.
The Hole of Love. Are you sure that wasn't by Vivid?
Oh, my bad. Yeah. This one's called Love Wholeheartedly.
Yeah. That's...
No?
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. Here's another question from a listener. I'm getting my wages garnished. Can bankruptcy help with that?
Absolutely. One of the big reasons people file bankruptcy is because they have a judgment or a lawsuit against them, or their wages are getting garnished, and so they can't pay their other regular ongoing bills. People sometimes think that you can't file bankruptcy once they have a judgment against them or once a garnishment has started, and that's not true. Filing bankruptcy will immediately stop any garnishment that you have going, except for child support, and stop your creditors from continuing on with garnishments of your bank account, your wages, and in most cases will discharge that liability through the bankruptcy process. And we can file a bankruptcy case for you usually the day you come in.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.